Hi, Holly.
I'm going to be your counselor. You're working with you today.
Okay.
I've been assigned to your case. So I'd like to get a little bit of background information on you to kind of see where you're at and what I can help you with.
Well, I am addicted to heroin,
Okay.
and I've been struggling for a couple of years with that. And right now, I'm about 2 weeks sober, and I'm trying to figure out like what to do because I was picked up for heroin possession, and I was referred by the courts to you and your agency.
Okay, so for you, is this mandated?
Yes, this is mandated. I have to be here.
Okay. And how do you feel about being here?
Um, I don't really like it, but I know that I need the help, and right now I know I'm in somewhat of a bad space.
Okay. Can you describe for me what you mean by bad space?
Well, I've been pretty much addicted for a long time, and I pretty much do like heroin every single day, and I've been feeling pretty ill lately, and I haven't been financially stable at all either.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about how long you've been doing heroin.
I've been doing it for 3 years now. I got into it when I was kind of at a party, and a bunch of friends were like, "Hey, do you want to like try this out? It's really good." And I was really stressed out at the time with finances and just losing my job. So
Okay. And are you currently employed?
um, currently, I was deployed about a week ago, but I just lost that too because of the of being arrested.
Okay, and how long have you been working there?
Um, for a couple months or so, I keep on switching jobs because I can't find a permanent.
Okay. So it sounds like we've got a lot of things that we can work through. Um, you mentioned that you're addicted, and I'd kind of like to explore with you what you mean by addicted. How do you define addiction?
Um, I define it by not being able to live without it,
Okay.
and I'm even struggling to be here today,
Mm-hmm.
being within 2 weeks that I haven't had it, and
Yep.
I've been craving it for a while now.
Mm-hmm. And what are some things you do when you're craving it to try to help with the cravings?
Um, I try to go on walks and try to kind of reduce some of my stressors. So I'll just kind of leave areas that might really have high intensity for me.
Okay. Yeah, and I've noticed you've been rubbing and itching your arm, and I presume that you have track marks there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, have you sought out medical attention for those?
Um, Not currently.
Okay. And do
Just
they get red and inflamed? Do they hurt?
they sometimes do hurt.
Okay. So how about we start thinking about what you want from me, and then we'll try to figure out a plan to help you reach some goals that I can help you with.
Um, well, I'd like to find some stability in being sober and
Okay.
finding something that I can do to like maybe a group or something that I can work in or something that can help me
Okay, like a support group?
maybe.
Okay. Well, we definitely have some resources that we could line you up with and get you some contacts for in terms of support groups. Um, with your financial stability, I think at this point we need to find out exactly what your budget looks like and where you're at. You said you don't have employment,
No.
and because you were fired for being arrested, you're not going to qualify for unemployment at this point. Um, so we need to think about how are you going to be getting further income, and how are you going to meet your needs when you don't have income.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should start making some goals around getting food, so that's pretty important. Making sure you have clothing and attire for the weather, because it's been very cold out recently.
Yeah.
And making sure you have a place to stay. What is your living situation?
Currently I'm renting someplace, but I just feel like I'm not gonna have enough money to keep afloat soon.
So there's a couple of housing programs that we can look into for you. A lot of people have different feelings about, whether addiction is a mental illness or it's a mental health concern. And in the eyes of disability rights and those sorts of things, a lot of times they will classify it as that. And if you're able to get that classification and get help with disability, there's some housing things that you would qualify for. So I think the best thing would be to get you set up with a case manager who could really work with you closely outside of our sessions to help you find what you need in terms of that.
Yeah.
What do you know about the local food banks and resources?
I don't know much about them. I've never used them before.
You've never used them? Okay. So those are pretty awesome. The ones we have around here are pretty great. We have a few of them. And typically with most of them, you can go to them twice a month. But they give you, for one person, they'll give you about a week's worth of food.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stigma around going to a food bank. But that's something that you and I can work through in our counseling sessions if it's something you feel is going to be a concern. But I think it would be really good to be able to have steady food intake, because on the other side of things, with your physical health, that could become a big issue because of the heroin use. And if you've got some food in your system and you've got water and you're staying hydrated, some of those very basic things are going to, make it break it for you.
Yeah.
And do you feel that you're able to get meals on a regular basis? Are you able to eat regularly?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, in terms of financial needs, how about we focus on getting you into some volunteer work, so that way you can build some connections, so you can have something to put on your resume.
Alright.
That's the basics. We'll set you up with a job coach, and you can work with the Career Center if that's something you're willing to do. We'll start slow, maybe a couple days a week for a couple hours. You do some volunteer work. You find, say you volunteer at the, Humane Society, then maybe you can get a job at Petco part-time, and that'll give you some income coming in.
Yeah.
And as long as they can see that you're making that, and then they're able to know the state and disability and all sorts of things that you're making an effort.
Yeah.
My job with the courts will be to assess if you're meeting your treatment goals and how you're progressing, and are you coming to these meetings. It's really, that's half the battle, is even getting you to come here is really important. And I think that's something that we can say today is a really good strength, is that you made it and you came, and it's something that you should reflect on and be proud of. So I think we have a couple of goals set up that are pretty good.
Alright.
I'm not going to talk too much about, in this moment, whether or not you should be taking, what you should be taking to kind of supplement the heroin, because the withdrawal can be pretty bad. We will refer you to a medical doctor for that, and we'll get you checked out. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, it's been wonderful working with you, and I will see you next week.
Alright, thank you.